think about the rhetoric that's out there today? They're still calling your husband a second Hitler. How does that make you feel? Because you know him better than anyone.
Correct. It's terrible.
Now we're called Nazis, and I'm called Hitler.
Congratulations.
Trump called Putin 7 times since leaving office, more than his own daughters. That's just one of the juicy tidbits from Melania's new memoir that had Jimmy Kimmel in stitches. But when Kimmel started poking fun at Trump's reaction to the January 6th riots, all hell broke loose. From grumpy Trumpy to full-on Donnie diapers, watch as the former president loses his cool over a few late-night jokes. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Kimmel delved into the unpleasant details of the book, pointing out treasures such as Trump's purported hotline to Putin.
Don't tell anybody you sent these to me. Trump, I don't care, fine. Putin, no, I don't want you to tell anybody.
Since leaving office, the former president reportedly spoke with Vlad 7 times. That's less than Ivanka, but more than he speaks to Tiffany. Values a family, am I correct? The jokes, however, continued after that. Kimmel took aim at Donald and Melania, going straight for the heart. He made fun of one of the book's most outrageous allegations, which was that Trump informed Melania that Donald Jr. was bred especially for his organs. Kimmel said, "The fact that it sounds even remotely plausible tells you everything you need to know about this book." Nor have the critics been kind. In a mocking 5-star review, one Amazon user referred to Melon as the best book I've ever read. What a way to condemn with faint praise. In the meantime, real book critics are dissecting it more quickly than Trump destroys government records. You could just hear Trump's blood pressure rising as Kimmel continued to attack Melania's literary masterpiece. The former president was undoubtedly furious since he never takes criticism well, unless it's during a Mar-a-Lago sleep. It's likely that his thumbs were twitching in anticipation of a Twitter storm. Oh, he's no longer able to do that. Sad. But people, don't worry, Trump will undoubtedly respond to this roasting in a cool, collected manner as usual. Will he assert that he is the greatest author in the history of the world? Will he maintain that Melania's book is a secret code that reveals the deep state? Or is he going to shout "witch hunt" at his television? Watch as Trump's annoyance with late-night jeering reaches new orange-tinted heights. Trump's fingers found their way to his phone as his rage bubbled over. However, who knew that a few taps might trigger a digital outburst that would seem like a toddler's tantrum? As he attempted to tweet away the humiliation caused by Kimmel's quips, Trump's thumbs went into overdrive. Initially, Trump's posts were just his typical sour attitude. However, Trump's tweets became increasingly bizarre and frequent as Kimmel continued to criticize him.
Must act now. This, of course, is false. It's yet another lie, and there are a lot more to come over the next several days.
Watching a pressure cooker poised to blow up was like that, except instead of steam, it was spouting all caps nonsense. One of Trump's most memorable statements was that anybody that cheats on the election is going to jail, because when someone makes fun of you, nothing screams "I'm innocent" like yelling that you'll go to jail. It's like screaming "I didn't eat the cookies" while covered in chocolate. Now, Trump's tirade on Twitter was a field day for political pundits. His frequent all-caps tweets, they observed, were an indication that his displeasure was intensifying. Should we say new lows instead? Trump's ego seems to have been severely damaged by being made fun of on national television. Who would have guessed that the man with the most orange skin in the world would be so thin? Trump started going over his best conspiracy theories again as his social media meltdown neared a fever pitch. We're discussing accusations that he coined the word caravan and windmills that cause cancer, like a greatest hits record, but with all the insane talk in place of the music. The worst part is that Trump's comments just served to increase the level of ridicule. Kimmel couldn't help but make fun of Trump's need to defend himself against jokes about Melania, since he is a comic genius. "When you find yourself having to tell people I'm not Hitler," he said in a comical way, "something is wrong."
Proud. You know, when you find yourself having to tell people I'm not Hitler, something is wrong.
You're absolutely right on the money. We knew we were seeing something unique when Trump's posts turned into a tornado of misdirection and violence, assaulting everyone who dared to challenge him. It was similar to witnessing the one-man show, How to Turn Twitter into a Therapist's Nightmare in 280 characters or less. We can only speculate as to what outrageous allegations and conspiracy theories Trump may come up with next, as his thumbs don't appear to be slowing down. Will he attribute his bad hair days to the moon cycle? Charge squirrels with election tampering? Trump's Twitter stream and time will tell. Just now, Trump's defense policy took an odd detour through Nazi Germany and Hurricane Alley. Who knew that world history and weather patterns could be so complicated? Trump boldly declared that he had never heard of a Category 5 hurricane making landfall during a Q&A on Fox News. He said, "I never even knew a Category 5 existed," seemingly oblivious of Hurricane Michael in 2018 and Hurricane Andrew in 1992. He seems to believe that hurricanes are as uncommon as his days of having nice hair, but there's still more. Additionally, Trump asserted that it was too late for hurricanes. Maybe someone should let him know that hurricane season doesn't end until November. Perhaps he believes that his tanning routine is dictated by the weather. It did not amuse meteorologists. They were concerned that Trump's lack of knowledge of hurricanes would cause the public to form harmful beliefs. It's like he thinks hurricanes are as mythical as his stable genius status, one frustrated weather expert remarked. Trump chose to go into world history because he was not satisfied with simply manipulating weather. He recounted a lesson he learned as a boy from his father, Fred Trump, who allegedly warned him not to use the terms Nazi or Hitler.
I had a father who was a great guy, but you know, he always used to tell me, never use the word Nazi and never use the word Hitler.
Naturally, Trump then went on to defend himself against Hitler parallels by using both names.
Trump is really spinning out over this Hitler thing. A lot of people, including his own running mate, by the way, have compared him and the things he says to Hitler.
His insistence was, "I'm not Hitler." That makes everything apparent, doesn't it? Historians quickly noted that bringing up Hitler analogies in passing is not only inconsiderate, but it also trivializes the Holocaust. According to one historian, Trump's grasp of history is about as firm as his handshake with world leaders. Political analysts saw a trend as Trump's claims grew more and more out of touch with reality. Every effort he made to protect himself appeared to simply lead him farther into a hole he had created for himself.
Now we're called Nazis, and I'm called Hitler.
Congratulations.
It's like watching a toddler try to lie his way out of eating vegetables, one analyst said. It gets increasingly apparent the more he speaks. Trump's meltdown seemed to be intensifying with every outrageous assertion. His efforts to portray himself as a victim were failing miserably, making him the target of even more jests. One thing is certain as we prepare for the final outburst of Trump's rage: reality is vastly outperforming Trump in the contest of wits. Do you recall when we believed Trump couldn't possibly get any more embarrassing? Grumpy Trumpy has just found the caps lock key, so grab your keyboards. What happens when late-night comedy and presidential thin skin are combined? A digital boom so amazing that comedians are sending thank you letters and fact-checkers are looking for aspirin.
Think about the rhetoric that's out there today. They're still calling your husband a second Hitler. How does that make you feel? Because you know him better than anyone.
Correct. It's terrible.
Trump is embroiled in a heated argument with himself on social media. He seems to believe that yelling in all caps makes his statements more genuine. His posts became increasingly bizarre and irrational. "Fake news is destroying America," said one gem. "Witch hunt." He seems to be attempting to fill the entire conspiracy theory bingo board at once. Kimmel was compelled to poke the bear as Trump's thumbs went into overdrive.
When your wife has to answer questions about her husband being a Hitler, it might be time to reel it in a bit.
"I believe Trump's keyboard is stuck," he said. That, or he's attempting to use solely capital letters to speak with aliens. With every fresh Trump tirade, the audience laughed even more. Even Trump's admirers were baffled by the craziness of his posts. One rather perplexing tirade read, "No collusion. Covfefe was real. I've got the best words. It's like to witnessing a toddler's tantrum in a Scrabble factory." With a zinger at his fingertips, Kimmel joked, "I think Trump's caps lock key is working harder than he ever did as president." Aw. The late night host turned the former president's online outburst into a hilarious moment by implying that Trump's insecurities may be more profound than his spray tan. Other comedians joined the fight as Trump's outburst peaked. For late-night TV, it was like Christmas arrived early. They could have performed entire performances based solely on Trump's posts since they had so much content. The fallout from Trump's period as a keyboard warrior, a country split between people who are giggling uncontrollably and people who are racing around the internet looking up how to mute a former president. There's no denying that Trump's tantrum on Twitter demonstrated that the greatest comedies occasionally write themselves. Alternatively, it types itself in all caps in this instance.